And then also, they've asked if once you get through with your food boxes, if you'll put them in the big boxes versus the trash can. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order at 11:40. And once you review the minutes, if I can get a motion to approve. Okay, Bobby. Do I have a second? Okay, second. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you so very much. Okay, let's see. Do we have any new members that are joining us today that have not been here before? Okay, all right, we've got a couple. If y'all will stand and just announce who you are and who you are with. Thank you very much. North Texas Behavioral Health, yep. NITBA. At first look, welcome. Anyone else? All right, you got everything you... Say your name one more time. I'm sorry. Just as she takes about, I apologize. She didn't hear your name. Yes, with first look. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead with our updates. I did want to update, we did have the prom pop-up event for Ellis County on Monday and Tuesday. I don't have the exact number of how many came in, but I did get... Our first day, we had 122 kids that completed their evaluations and received items, whether it be a dress or a suit. And on our second day, we had 55. It was a little slower, but it was a really, really good event. Got lots of good feedback from the kids and from the parents that were involved. And I want to thank those that came out and volunteered their time to be there with the students as they came in. The kids loved seeing somebody from their schools represented. Also, our community resource volunteers are partners in our community that came out and helped us do the education pieces. And I think that's, well, the only other thing that I can think of that I probably should mention is that the next drug take-back event is going to be on April the 25th. So if you have any expired or unused medications that you would like to safely dispose of, I'm going to be requesting permission at the old Coleman Junior High parking lot. So hopefully that'll be the location that will be set up in again. And but yeah, just let me know if you have any questions on your drug take back. And that's all I have for REACH. So if Ginger would like to come and give us the update on the counselors. You don't have, you're going to do it at the end? Okay. All right. And Chris isn't here. Are you doing? Okay. Lissa's going to come up and give us the WISD security update.
Hello. So if you all know and follow Waxahachie ISD on Facebook, we do random canine searches just like we do random drug testing. We do those at all of our secondary campuses, and we conducted one last Thursday, and there was a weapon found in a student's vehicle. Everything was secured. We did everything as we would in normal protocol when something like that occurs, but just want to reiterate, cannot really talk about all the things involved, but just want to reiterate really and truly that is a service that we use, we do pay for, and it does work. kind of just like the drug testing is used as a deterrent, we use the canine as a deterrent as well. This was actually the first time we got to use the dog in the parking lot at the high school. We also did the parking lot at Global. And there's several hits, nothing really found a lot of times, especially inside the campus. But we do, it is something that we are somewhat thorough with, and we do on a regular basis. We will have additional checks in March, April. We try in May. May is just kind of crazy with lots of different dates of lots of things going on, especially on your high school campuses. But it is something, just wanted to hit on that, yes, very serious thing that occurred, but we did, I mean, it was handled in the most efficient manner possible. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Okay, the next update is the health update with Melissa Bousquet.
Good morning. Is it still morning? Yes. Good morning, everyone. I so appreciate your being here. You don't know, when I look out there and see all your faces, it really encourages me, and I appreciate that a lot. As far as the health updates go, when I'm on campuses and in clinics, I'm being told there's lots of fever going on, lots of GI type illness that is being spread around. So it's just that time of year. The last time I checked the state's flu report, we were at the highest level, which I believe is called widespread. But that's the very top level, and we got flu going on out there. So we're dealing with it as best we can, reminding parents about what our policies are as far as kids with fever and GI symptoms and things like that. So that's kind of where we are with that. Hopefully after spring break, we'll all get well and be ready to go and finish the year. Drug testing. We, at the junior high level, in January, we had to cancel drug testing because it was scheduled right when we had that winter storm. So our drug testing company comes up from Killeen. They couldn't even get into their office to prepare to do the testing, much less come up here and do it. So unfortunately, junior highs were canceled in January. In February, we had to cancel junior highs again. The campuses were having testing, and it doesn't work well when all the kids are in the middle of a test to be able, we can't pull them out of that and drug test them and put them back in their testing situation. So this time of year it's hard because there is so much testing going on. So we do the best we can to try to get it in there. The good news about the junior highs is we have not had a positive all year. So I don't feel like, there's not kids out there that are not getting retested because they were previously positive. So that's a good thing. High school level at Global, no positives this year. They're doing really well. At the high school in February, we just got the results from that session of drug testing. We were able to do their January testing as well. So we haven't missed anything at the high schools. It's just been the junior highs. But this month, we had 2 marijuana positives that came back. They were both students that were being retested because they were previously positive. One of the students, their number, there's a quantitative number for THC that we get. One of the students, the number came down dramatically. So that tells me that that student has not had an exposure since the last time they were tested. So that's good news. We consider that a negative. The other student, unfortunately, their THC level increased. So that indicates there was an exposure since the previous month's testing. So that's considered a second positive, and Mr. Escoto and I will be meeting with the student and the parent about that. So that's where we are with drug testing. Do you guys have any questions? which two's not bad. I mean, you want 0, but two's not bad, especially when one of them is really considered a negative.
How many kids are tested?
Unfortunately, again, because of academic testing, we only tested about half as many as we normally do this particular month. So it's 30-something kids we tested. So it's a hard time of year. Everybody's really, really busy. If they're not testing, they're off campus somewhere doing something. So it's hard to get kids. All right, any questions for me? We're really happy with our new community service piece for positives, for first-time positives. I feel like that is so much more beneficial than what we were doing previously. So I'm real happy about that. That's exciting. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, the next update we have is the WISD Community Involvement Update. Caitlin?
Hello, everyone. On Tuesday, we held our Little Learners Expo. That is our new version of Kinder Expo. I don't have the amount of families that came, but for those of you in the room that were there, it was amazing. It was great. So we had a lot of families come out and visit all of our Kinder campuses, or all of our campuses. Lots of different activities for the kiddos to see and just visit who their potential campus might be. Aside from that, we have Deer Day next Friday. The signups are live. They're on our Facebook. There are still slots if you are interested in reading. And that is for, again, every elementary campus. And that's all we have.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so that concludes our updates. Now we are going to go to our presentations and choosing the best logistics committee update by Ginger Robinson.
So I just want to remind everyone what we talked about last month. We're looking at choosing the best. We put together a subcommittee to look at 3 options. We are not mandated to teach anything over the TEKS about human sexuality in Texas. So do not teach it at all is option 1. Option 2, move to a presentation style of teaching human sexuality, meaning like Aim for Success or a Just Say Yes program. Or option 3, keep choosing the best what we are currently doing. So we did meet this week on that. Or was that this week? It all. Okay, so I'm gonna head over there and give you all the.
Ginger, why don't you share with everybody who's on the committee so they'll know?
Raise their hands. Oh, this is, are they gonna be able to hear me from here?
It's not, her speaker's not in.
Is that okay? Okay, cool. Everybody who's here. So,
Let's get another counselor that's not here.
Laura Phillips is also on our committee. She is not here. She's our junior high counselor at Howard. So Heather is here, Haley's here, Laura Phillips, she is having to stay on campus today. Monica Taylor is on her way. She is our coordinator of mental health. Bo Livingston is our high school, and then Melissa Nurse Busquet is on our committee. And if anybody else wants to join, you'll see from my presentation, we haven't made any decisions. We're just kind of in the process. Okay. All right, so here's the purpose. We're going to just kind of explain all that to determine if we're going to continue it, evaluate our current model or some of the things we talked about in our
we did discuss the trends that we see with our numbers declining. We kind of talked about why are those things happening? What is happening that our numbers are going down? We did notice in our review that our sixth grade numbers are actually the lowest. And we kind of are, one of the things we discussed is a lot of those parents, the topic, they're not ready for their sixth grader to hear it yet. Just being very honest. So it's kind of what we talked about with that, with our why our numbers were so low at sixth grade. And then our next number that's extremely low is our ninth graders. One of the things that we often hear, I've already had that. I already had it in junior high, I'm not doing it again. Well, it's a different curriculum at each grade level, but they don't know that. So they're opting out because they think they've already had it. The other thing that we talked about, though, and you guys, my committee members, jump in at any time. The other thing we talked about is our high school students are being pulled from instruction when this happens. We have some students that do not want to be pulled out of instruction. They want to go to class. I mean, if I'm pulling them from an AP class, 5 kids out of a class of 25, guess what's happening with those 20? They're still getting their instruction. So they don't want to miss. And it's a whole week long. So we discussed that as well. Anything else on that topic? Y'all want to talk about the logistics of it?
Our numbers went down so much when they had to opt in for it, where we used to have a whole class.
Yes.
And the teachers stopped. They made their lesson plans around it, but now they don't do that.
They
So
can't.
few kids come out.
That's right. We did discuss, I had a principal talk to me from the junior high level, talking about what is happening because they have 3 grade levels that they're teaching at the junior high. And logistically, when he pulls out 6 students out of a class, the other 20 are remaining in there. Well, now he doesn't have the staff to take those 6 and stay with those 20. So we're looking at really, logistically, it's just becoming a challenge with our numbers decreasing. But great point, when it was opt out, everybody stayed in the class, teachers worked around it. Now they're having to create lesson plans and now catch up students that are being pulled out of class. So, great points. So in Texas, I want to point this out. Human sexuality is, again, it's optional over the teens. We have to, the teens will continue to be taught. They're in 7th grade science, they are in biology, I don't know, don't get me, I can get specifics of where those are. We must continue teaching those. We've chosen to teach above those, which is how Choosing the Best came about. Choosing the Best was started when it was opt out. Now it's opt in, which is starting to create. So in Texas, it is optional, but if you do teach it, you must teach an abstinence-based program, which is Choosing the Best for us. Keep going. All right. So the other thing we kind of talked about was what we just talked about, the logistics, the participation, and the operational impact. So we looked at numbers. We have the totals. I think we looked at the last 4 years, just across the board. I will tell you our junior high numbers are about 1,000 across the district in all 3 grade levels. So when you think about that, that's not a lot of students. So it's, now I can break it down by each grade level, which we did discuss that, but I'm not gonna, I have my extensive notes, if anybody here wants to see them, where we did break down at 5 grade levels. But we're averaging about 1,000 students at each junior high for 3 grade levels. So you take 1,000, divide that by 3, that means at each junior high, we're servicing about 350 students. So, sorry, I already covered a lot of that. Any questions on that we can answer? Any of us? Bless you. All right. So our current model that we use now is Choosing the Best. Choosing the Best is a 5, well, 5 days to teach 8 lessons. It's another thing we talked about, is the fidelity of the program. We're taking away classroom instruction time to teach this. I'm not saying it's not important, but I am having to take away 5 days. That's what we built into our pacing guides, thank you. That's what we built into our pacing guides is 5 days at each 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade, okay? So but each grade level curriculum is 8 lessons long. So we're compacting those lessons into those 5 days. And that's another thing we discussed, is are we even teaching this with fidelity because of the limited amount of time that we've been given to present the instruction, present the curriculum. We also discussed the cost. Currently, it costs us about $14,000 to $17,000 a year. It's EMAT funded. The reason there's such a gap is when they update the curriculum, we have to purchase new teaching materials. So every student has a book that they use, every student that is in the program. The books cost $5 a piece. So those consumables, we get those every year. But every time they update, I have to buy a new teacher edition, which is $500 a booklet. So every couple of years, they update those. That's why you see the price difference in what I present when I take it to EMAT. Let's see. The other thing we talked about that I want you guys to know is that when it was opt-out, our counselors were teaching it. Our counselors pushed in, they went into the classrooms, they taught it. Now that it's opt-in, and we're having to split, our discovery teachers are teaching it at the junior highs. So that's where we push it in, is in our discovery classes. Discovery in our junior high classes, they have a pacing guide as well. That's where we teach things, financial literacy, we're teaching choosing the best. We teach our social emotional skills during that time. So it's an elective class that all junior high students now take, and we are pushing in through there. Well, the discovery teacher is now who's teaching it. Your discovery teachers are anywhere from your ELA teachers to your coaches. We did train them at the beginning of this year. We trained all of them with the company on how to present the material, how to answer questions. But when you get a different person teaching it, that person is now the delivery. And those opinions change from person to person. Even though we're taught, read from the script, one of the things we talked about, how I read with my voice and in fluctuation could be totally different than how someone else reads that curriculum. So even that can cause some concerns. The other thing we discussed about this is there are some uncomfortable topics that some of our teachers are not comfortable talking about. So that becomes an issue as well. So turning that over to teachers, now I'll tell you logistically, my counselors, there's no way they could teach every discovery class for every 6th, 7th, and 8th graders during these time periods. Discovery classes happen all throughout the day. Sometimes it's 3 during one period, 2 the next period. So logistically, my counselors can't do that. Any input on that, committee?
A picture of what it looks like at the high school, that's at the junior high.
Mm-hmm.
But at the high school, the counselors are still teaching it.
Okay.
So we reserved this big lecture hall for 200 kids, and then there have been class periods where we had like 6 kids in there, 8 kids, because all of them, those are the only ones that opted in.
Yes.
And so everybody else is in the class. So 3 counselors standing there with 8 kids ready to teach. So we're trying to adjust for that too.
The other thing I will say about that though is we've seen when there are such low numbers, the students then say, I'm not coming back tomorrow. They don't want to come back. They don't want to sit. We've had one where one student was one-on-one with the counselor. They were the only student that opted in during that class period. Yeah.
We have said that. And trying to get them to opt in sign up. And it's already 2 days in.
Also, Ginger, just as a reminder, the form to opt in for your student cannot be included in the enrollment packet. So as hard as these guys try to push it out and get that information out there, parents are still missing it. And so they really don't have any idea. So it's logistically, it's a bit of a nightmare trying to get this information to the students whose parents want them to get it. It's just not an easy thing.
Yes.
Just as a reminder.
Once it became opt-in, it really presented challenges. We knew it was going to. I meet with directors of counseling all the time, and we knew it would be just logistically really, are we even reaching the masses that we need to? So, all right, any questions? Everybody okay? All right, so we looked at alternative models. We kind of talked about what are some other options. We could look at structured single session formats, which is what we use now currently for any of our presentations. We do suicide awareness, and we do it with a presentation style. Someone comes in from an organization and presents to our students who have opted in, okay? Our sex trafficking, same thing. We have a person that comes in and teaches that. It's actually 2 days that our students are with that instructor. And these instructors are trained through the companies and organizations that they work for.
And the sex trafficking also has dating violence.
Dating
It's a
violence.
two-part.
Yes, yes. So those are the models that we are currently using. So we looked at, if we were to do this, move to this model, what would be our ideal grade levels? We came up with 7th, 9th, and 12th. That's because 8th grade, 10th, and 11th grade, they're already getting some presentations that still revolve around making good choices, some things that still are in that content. So those are our grade levels that we came up with. We would still have to maintain the opt-in. It would still be an opt-in, and it would not be included in the enrollment packet. It would be something that has to go out separately to parents as well. The cost for this, I did a little research. It would be about $4,000 to $6,000 across the district. Each day of presentation is approximately $2,000. But what we could do is kind of move the presenter from, for junior high, we put our presenter in one place and we bus our students to that presentation now that we have the FAC. So we could do it that way to save some money on costs and things like that. And then of course it would reduce instructional disruptions because we would have them all there at one time. So we also talked about our, just kind of a snapshot of some schools around us and what they're doing. Midlothian presentation style, Maypearl presentation style, you can see that. Duncanville does it through health class, but health is required in their district. We don't require health in our district. So if we wanted to go that route, that's a whole nother having to have health as a graduation requirement, whole different, we'd have to go a different avenue if that's what we decided. Ennis, Lancaster, DeSoto, and Cedar Hill do not teach it. So, just, can't speak for them, but they just do not. Cam, yeah, go ahead.
So, what I'm getting is you got full participation. That's what I'm gathering. It's almost not worth it, but we do benefit those who attend, possibly. Could you do it online, where you emailed the pre-recorded classroom to the parent, and the parent share it with the student at home?
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't
Not
know.
send it to the student, because then they could share it, but would this way the parent is responsible for seeing that their student watches these videos, and any questions be submitted to XYZ email for a specific person to respond to?
I don't know. I don't, now, if you're saying we would record
Yes.
ourselves teaching it?
I would pick someone that you like their influctuation of voice when they're speaking about it, you know,
I'm gonna let
monotone.
Bo, you're my only teacher in here right now.
The curriculum we have right now couldn't be done that way, because it's long. It's like full classroom lesson.
It is, and there's videos in it
And there's
too,
videos
so
in
you
it.
have to embed
It would
that.
have to be a whole different type of program.
And I would have to get permission from the people to get it to.
I think we can get parents to sign, a lot of the parents, some do, but we can't get a majority of parents to sign the permission, so yes or no. And I don't know how to get them to show a video.
I will tell you, what is included in that cost, the 2,000, is also a parent presentation. So before, we used to do this,
Yeah.
before choosing the best, anybody been here as long as Ginger has? We used to do this. This is the presentation style we did for many years. And, we always do a parent presentation and invite parents to come and hear the exact same material that's being presented to the students. We also push out emails to make sure the parents know, even though you didn't attend, here's what we talked about. So we do that.
I wonder if you could offer, like, your child can come to the parent night as well, and if your child comes to the parent night, that, you know, they get that, they're done, they don't have to go to one during the day. They can do either or, not both.
Do you have parents that actually show up?
Well, that's a great question. Not really. It's about like other things that people participate in. It's usually a low turnout. I remember one year we had about 15 and I was ecstatic that many came. So typically about 5. Just being, now that's been many years, and things have changed since then. But we would offer it, so that's included in that cost.
Things have changed, gotten worse. Parents are not as involved as they were years ago. So if, you'd be lucky if you get one.
So I'm not even gonna get 5?
Yeah, no.
So, but good questions, I mean, and that's camp, we're not finished, so that's something we can definitely talk about, maybe different ways to get this information out there.
Does the company offer like an alternative to where it's like an online class that they could do it?
I do not know, we've just never,
So when you sit down to your enrollment packets, for me, it's all about promotion now. Maybe I don't know if you can include it in the original reminder about enrollment and go, hey, we have this class. Here's a little commercial. Here's a commercial.
can we do that?
You mean
As
just,
long as we're not asking.
I'm assuming you're getting more girls than you are boys.
No,
No, it's
not,
not.
there's really, I wish Laura was here to talk.
yeah, she would know.
Maybe balance to be with.
What about Rusty? Rusty's fresh out of Coleman Junior High. Do you have any observations about how it went at Coleman?
The only thing that really differs, most of the things that you're saying are in line, covered the discovery aspect of it. The numbers really vary, same concerns apply as far as coverage goes. You know, it's really sporadic. It's hit or miss, and it's not really more of one than the other. You know, we do our best to service the ones that we try to get as much participation in on.
And we push it, I mean,
We push it and we accommodate, we do our part.
yeah.
Depends on the feelings that certain individuals or families have about it.
Well, and I think that's a good point, because I had someone ask me, well, you're not advertising it. Oh, yes, we are. Our counselors, our teachers, we send email reminders, we have paper copies of the opt-in form. Like, we try, so we're giving them every opportunity to be a part. I was, actually, someone after the last meeting said, maybe parents don't want me teaching. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe this is what we're seeing of.
It's a different world out there now.
Exactly. So, you know,
If they can't attend, they probably want to know, you know.
yeah,
And,
so, good questions. Anything else?
In defense of the legislature, not allowing us to put that form in the registration packet, I do get it because the drug testing permission form is in that packet. Parents sign it, push it on through, and inevitably, when I send out notices about your child was drug tested today, I'll get an email or two. I never gave permission for that. They don't remember. It's a lot of stuff they're filling out. So I understand the thought behind that, but still it creates a lot of logistical issues, so.
Well, and they're obviously not reading the things that are pushed out afterwards either.
No, no.
All right, last, final, I just kind of want to tell you where we're at in our process. So, no decision, as I said, we have not made any decisions. We've talked about, does the 5-day curriculum sufficiently impact or justify disruption, cost, and the administrative burden? Looking at those. Or would the streamlined presentation achieve a comparable outcome? And then our next steps, we're gathering vendor presentation options. I spoke with someone yesterday, that's where I got the $2,000 ballpark. We want to compare the impact and the cost and review, grade level alignment, talk about, is that really, do we want it at 7th? I want to know from the presentations what's appropriate for a 7th grader, a 9th grader, a 12th grader. We'll talk about those things. And then we want to bring our subcommittee recommendation to SHAC for a vote. I think, Melissa, we were saying April or May. We weren't positive which one.
correct.
We have a meeting in April, but if we're not ready, we will call a special meeting for this so that we can take it to the board. Once the subcommittee makes our recommendation, SHAC will vote whether or not you agree or disagree with the subcommittee's recommendation. Once the SHAC then makes that decision, we will take that to the school board so that the school board knows that the SHAC has made this recommendation, and the board puts the SHAC in place to make these decisions. So it's more of an informative to the school board of which route we're going to go.
So to make sure that I'm understanding, so the choices are to do a presentation style where you present to girls and present to boys
No.
together
They
do it together.
They do not separate them.
versus doing the curriculum per
We
day?
don't separate girls and boys for curriculum either.
Okay.
They've always stayed in together.
So the presentation would be just like a one-time presentation and then it's covered versus doing the 5-day deal that you're talking about?
That's correct. And I will tell you, I want to back up. We do have an alignment in our elementary schools where we start talking about, I'll let you speak to that. We do separate those boys and girls. in elementary.
Correct. That elementary is not changing the way we do it, and like she said, it is separate. 4th and 5th grade boys and 4th and 5th grade girls. Most campuses separate 4th and 5th grade. I don't know what they're doing now, but.
But junior has been combined for yeah. So, any questions? But
In
order,
order,
yeah.
your points up there, we did not add that we could just do away with it altogether. That is an option for the.
It is still an option to do away with it altogether. Yes.
And your feelings were, when we were in our meeting, we were discussing that the committee wanted to try to do something, right?
But you committee people speak up, but I feel like we were saying, let's not do away with it altogether. Am I right?
What would be the
Alternative?
negative to just not do it? What could we see happen next time?
That is a great question.
That's what I was about to say.
I don't see any negatives to just not do it anymore. I don't think the kids take it seriously. I don't think the parents really care one way or the other. It's going to cost the district money for either one of those two choices, but that's just my thought.
You're always gonna have that one parent that says, hey, you didn't, as a school district, y'all didn't even offer this as an option. You're always gonna have some negative Nancy that says, hey, y'all aren't doing your part as a district to even offer something that's so important. I see both sides of it. Me as a parent, I teach my kids these things. I'm not expecting the school district to do it, but then you have some parents that are not involved with their kids and they expect the districts to teach their kids how to live their life, how to, be people, and that's not our job as a district. But you're gonna have those people that are gonna get up in arms and all over Facebook and all over the news that says that we didn't offer it.
Well, and we teach social emotional skills, we teach character building, responsibility, we teach a lot of things already. So, we do, and where I'm saying that kind of goes into this, making responsible decisions, making, setting goals. So we're already teaching all of that through our guidance lessons, through our SEL program. So we're teaching a lot of those already, which then impacts this, that we're making good choices and we are setting goals. So, Cam?
Some of those topics, such as dating violence.
It's required by the state.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not going away. That is required by the state, and we chose as the SHAC committee Bonnie Burr as our representation for that.
Do I remember right, that one is not opt-in, right? The kids, they have to do that.
They have to sign permission, and that is in the enrollment packet.
And that is.
Yes, it can
So,
be. And
because
it's
the lecture hall's full on it.
Yes.
We don't have.
Yes, it's a little different on those, suicide awareness. Sex ed is the only one that is opt-in and must be separate from the enrollment. You cannot put it into any other packet.
So if you decide to no longer offer this course, these classes, could you, for that first year that we no longer offer it, could you provide some kind of instructional, a book, pamphlets, something to at least say, we didn't just wash our hands of some of these topics, we do have literature and they can always talk to a counselor?
So we are allowed to speak with our students. Now we're getting into the new laws of Senate Bill 12, which say that we have to have permission to speak with our students. Now, those will go into the enrollment packet starting this school year of whether or not we can speak with a student about mental health issues, personal issues like that. Am I correct?
Yes, and even health-related
Health-related
services.
services, all of that.
All of
So
that's got to be opt-in.
That's changing as well. So yes, we can still talk to them.
I could just tell Amanda's probably for the program, but she wants program, I'm not for it.
Right.
So I'm just trying to give an alternative that we both might be happy with.
Our counselors are always available to speak about anything like this. And we have resources that we can connect them with outside of either within house with our counseling, with our licensed counselors with Next Steps. So we've got our resources where we can get for them. But if I did a booklet, anything like that, I'm gonna have to have permission again. We can't give anything above the teats that are currently required without permission, without opt-in. So,
And you're a professional, so you and your committee, will support you.
you can come be a part of it. Any other questions? Rusty, you were gonna say something?
Well, in terms of the options for this new program, I was just going to point out that it sounds like you're looking at the potential of, you have 5 days where you have one setting. Now, in terms of what I've experienced is, the program's only as good as the buy-in and the teacher who teaches it. And many teachers are not comfortable teaching this subject, much less taking 5 days. So if you're going to continue to do it, and feel like it's necessary, I would recommend, or it would be I think, appreciated by teachers if it was more of a one-time deal as opposed to dragging it out 4 or 5 days. Because you'll have some teachers, I don't know of a teacher that loves to do it. You know, I love to do it. But they do it because we ask them to do it. But I don't feel like they're getting much out of the program. So I think it'd be better suited to get the most you can get in one setting and maybe for people who are selected to do it, meaning to teach it.
Well, we would, if we did it one time, we would use the company.
That's fine.
They're professionals to do it. We would.
I always hated to see teachers have to talk about topics that they weren't comfortable with over a period of 5 days where kids really weren't interested. It became a bit of a cluster. I don't think, as Debbie has said, there's not a whole lot of interest in it from the kids. And if there's no buy-in from the kids and there's no sell from the teachers, I would much prefer having a company come in to do it.
So I think what we could do, our committee, is we could now, let's go back and look at a one-day presentation versus not doing it at all. And maybe that's our next, and we take our advice, as a subcommittee, we take what the SHAC says and we go back and research it. So maybe that's our next steps committee, is we say a presentation, or do we maybe just not want to do it at all?
Well, and then maybe just have the availability to offer if parents are wanting it, a resource that they can go to get it.
We always have resources.
Yeah.
Gosh, I have more resources. We are very blessed in our district to have a lot of resources. So, are you, everybody okay with that? Yes. The other thing I was going to say, please come be a part of this committee too. It's okay. I mean, you pretty much have heard. I just told you what we talked about. But you're welcome to come and be a part, give us your input. I mean, we really, come up afterwards and tell me you want to be a part, and we'll get you on our next meeting. So, okay. That's it, unless there's more questions. Great discussions, though. Like, this is huge. It's great. We needed that. So.
Thank you, Ginger. My understanding is we're going to put a hold on the cell phone information.
Yes, Mr. Perry is working on gathering data, and it's been a little more challenging than what we thought. So next, he's over there working on it right now, I can tell. So anyway.
It's a different code. There's not a uniform code. It's a local code that I can go through all of it. So it'll take a little bit more time.
So he'll do that probably in April, and I'm excited to hear kind of how all that's playing out, so.
Absolutely.
We're just talking secondary, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, that's all that we have on the agenda for today. Just a reminder, our next meeting is going to be on April the 9th. And if I can get a motion to adjourn at 12:28.
You
got it?
Maribel?
Okay. And I suppose we're all in favor, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank y'all very much for
Thank
being here
you.
today.